Hello there, Mike Gravum here again. I'm answering question number 19 of the top 29 questions that founders ask that keep them up at night. And question number 19 is, how do I set up a legal entity, and are there any pitfalls to watch out for? Well, this is actually a pretty straightforward question. Most every state, in fact, every state has a website that kind of lists the things that you need to do to set up an entity in that state. It's a pretty simple checklist. Most people can do it themselves, although many people are afraid to do it because they've never done it before. But literally, I would be surprised if you spent more than maybe 2 or 3 hours to file the right paperwork and get everything kind of started. You may spend a couple more hours along the way with back and forth with things, but for the most part, this is not a big, long, arduous process. So it's really important that if you're short of money and you have time, then do it yourself. It can absolutely be done in your state, and I will guarantee you there's a list on some government website that tells you how to do it in your state. Okay, so that's that piece of it. Here are some things that if you're VC or want to be VC funded, or maybe in a marketplace where you're likely to get VC funding, most VC love Delaware Corps. So I would do a Delaware C Corp. Again, just to make everybody easy and they're comfortable. There's a lot of great documents done by what's called Cooley Go, and that's a Cooley Go. Just look it up. Look up Cooley Go. There's some great documents that are really well done, and they've been kept updated. They're a law firm out of California. They have a number of locations, but they've done a really good job of providing documents on setting up corporations, also funding documents. All those kind of things are there for review and or use. So again, those are obviously California-based documents, but if you're in California, it's obviously simple, but there's also just good information from a standpoint if you've never done it before. What I would do is I would almost always do a C Corp, just because if you're going to raise any money, they're probably going to want that. I mean, they're going to need that for sure. Second, you can do an LLC. It's not too hard to convert from an LLC to a C Corp. It's actually quite easy. But again, LLCs are, again, very easy to set up. Another one of those things you could do on your own. You don't really need an attorney to do that. So, set up an LLC if it's easy for you. You've done it before, it's great, and then just convert it to a C Corp when it's necessary. If you don't have any plans to raise money, it's kind of your choice. You can do a C Corp, you can do an S Corp, you can do an LLC. There's disadvantages and advantages of all those. So I wouldn't even know what to tell you is best for what you want to do. But I'm just saying, based on historicals and things, the VCs love C Corps. They love Delaware as a state to actually incorporate in. And again, that's not hard to do. So you don't have to live in Delaware to incorporate in Delaware your corporation. So those are kind of things to understand. What I would make sure you have is you have to have a good accountant and a good lawyer. They do not have to do this kind of work, though. This is stuff that you can do on your own. What I would recommend, if you've never done it before, is maybe you do part of it and make sure that they check the I's and dot the T, or what is that? Cross the T's and dot the I's to make sure everything's correct. You can do some of the legwork. It will save you a bunch of money. I would never, ever, ever spend more than a couple $1,000s maximum to set up a corporation. And if somebody tries to charge you more than that, just go somewhere else, because they're absolutely crazy. There's not that much work to do. I say that, my only caveat is maybe you have some weird structure that you need, or maybe there's something really odd about what you're doing. But for the most part, 99.5% of companies are very similar in how they're set up. Their operating docs are similar. There's always some tweaks there, but if someone's charging more than a couple $1,000s, you probably should just go somewhere else. It's just not necessary. It's really a waste of money, especially early on when you don't know you have a product or service that people care about. You hear me talk a lot about this. People incorporate, do all this, spend all this legal money before it's necessary. So don't spend the money before it's actually necessary. So you can do a lot of work before you realize that, hey, I have a product that people care about and I have a product that people will pay me money for. Then that's when you start incorporating. So those are things that I would do. And last but not least, when you're incorporating, just please do me one favor. Don't go 50-50. Don't be a 50% equity, 50% equity if you're partners. There always should be one person that's a 51% equity holder that has the ability to make the final decision. There's going to be things that happen in the maturation of the company that when you're 50-50, you can't solve. So you need to have a 51-49% partnership somewhere where it allows one person to be able to make the final decision and say, hey, we're going to do it this way. So I've seen so many companies blow up because they were 50-50 partners. It's just not a good structure at all. So those are my things today on question number 19. Take care. Look forward to talking to you again. Bye-bye.